Pete? Okay. I'm fine with whatever. I mean, even if it just when it goes down, if it has a fuse or something, if it has a fuse or if it's out, automatically just put LED. If it saves money over time, where you're not doing whatever, I don't care. You don't need any more yellow. You don't need any more yellow. Lisa, do you have a pen? I thought I brought mine in. But I didn't. Thank you. She's coming. Oh yeah, she's coming. She's coming. She's got that. You know, mom had probably be right on time. Okay. Okay. Yeah, on the way. Yeah, it should be exciting. Just looking for that. We didn't expect that many people to be in here. Didn't expect that many people. So I saw you looking for. Look at Sean. Nothing of shoot. I know, man. Crazy, dude. But yeah. Oh, is that? Oh, it's me. That's all me. Oh, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hammond City Council public hearing agenda, excuse me, August the 13th, 2024, 5:30 p.m. Roll call, please.
Councilman Andrews.
Present.
Councilman Devaterio.
Present.
Councilman Leon.
Present.
Councilwoman Gonzalez.
Present.
Councilman Wells.
Present. Public hearing item number 1.
An ordinance to declare as surplus and authorize the sale of the items listed below to sell on govdeals.com. Number 1, 2013 Kia Soul. 2, Unit 728, a 2008 Dodge Ram. 3, 2 WANCO digital messaging boards. 4 hot water pressure washer, model number HW2-1102, 5 rear seats and cages for police vehicles, 6 18 wooden chairs, 7 15 tables, 8 light bars, wire, and camera heads. Mayor,
This is what we introduced last meeting. These are items that are up for GovDeal auction.
Anyone from, anyone from the public have any questions or concerns on this particular item? Anyone from the council? Hammond City Council regular session agenda, August the 13th, 5:31 p.m. Roll call, please.
Councilman Divatario,
Here.
Councilman Wells,
Here.
Councilwoman Gonzalez,
Present.
Councilman Andrews,
Present.
Councilman Leon.
Present.
At this time, I ask that you please stand, and Stella Divatario is going to come and lead us in our prayer on tonight.
Our Father, which in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Our kingdom come, our will be done. Our word as it is in heaven. Our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, and we forgive us trespass against us. Leave us not into temptation, and deliver us from evil. Amen.
Amen. For our Pledge of Allegiance, I ask that all veterans, active military, please render the proper salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and
To the republic of which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Good job.
All right. The Bible tells us if you train up a child in the way they should go, and when they are old, they will not depart from it. And what that means, you might stray away sometime, but your roots will bring you right back to it. All right. Can I get an approval of our minutes from July 23rd, 2024, please?
Second.
Councilman Wells,
Aye.
Councilman Leon,
Aye.
Councilman Divatario,
Aye.
Councilwoman Gonzalez,
Aye.
Councilman Andrews.
Aye. Final adoption of ordinance number 1.
Final adoption of an ordinance to declare a surplus and authorize the sale of the items listed below to sell on govdeal.com. 2013 Kia Soul, Unit 7 to 8, 2008 Dodge Ram, 2 Winco digital messaging boards, hot water pressure washer, model number HW21100, rear seat and cages from police vehicles, 18 wooden chairs, 15 tables, 8 light bars, wire, and camera heads. Mayor?
Okay. Again, anyone from the public on this particular item? Anyone from the council? Pleasure of the council.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Councilman Andrews?
Aye.
Councilman Divatario?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gonzalez?
Aye.
Councilman Leon?
Aye.
Councilman Wells?
Aye. Introduction of ordinance number 1.
Introduction of an ordinance to transfer $15,000 from the Downtown Development District Fund 207 balance to the Digital Gateway Project account 12327. Michelle Kendall.
Good evening, Council. We've talked about this gateway sign quite a bit, haven't we? So I'm before you today because we actually do need some additional funds to complete the project. As a reminder, this is a collaborative project between the city and the Downtown Development District. The city has dedicated $75,000. That amount is staying the same. The DDD's contribution was $50,000. Basically, with this request, we're upping that up an additional 15, so 65. And the reason for this request now is because we it came to my attention that we had some additional fees as a part of the project that were not budgeted for prior to the beginning of this fiscal year. If I would have been aware of that, we would have looped it into our budget for this fiscal year. But this additional 15 will allow the project to be completed, cover those additional fees, and also pay for some additional landscaping that was left out of the original project. So this is coming from our fund balance, the DD's fund balance, which is a separate account. And our fund balance right now is pretty healthy, so this will not affect us. So we're asking to move these funds to the project account so that we're able to get it completed.
This is the project account that's within the DDD's budget or the city's budget?
So this project account number is within the city's budget.
Okay.
Anyone from the public have a question or concern on this particular item? Any more questions or concerns from anyone on the council?
Where the sign supposed to go?
The sign will be located on the corner of Southwest Railroad and Coleman Avenue. So that is the intersection that you get into right before you get into downtown, right before Kate Street Seafood Station. Right now, there's where the city puts those banners up for nonprofits and other events. Basically, the digital gateway sign will replace that area. It will be a 5 by 15 foot digital sign. It will be encased in brickwork, metalwork, so that kind of fits the look and feel of downtown. We're really looking forward to having that as a part of sharing all the messages relates to the city and downtown with the public.
Okay,
Anyone else?
thank you.
You're welcome.
I make a motion to introduce.
Second.
Councilwoman Gonzalez.
Aye.
Councilman Divatario.
Aye.
Councilman Wells.
Aye.
Councilman Leon.
Aye.
Councilman Andrews.
Aye. Thank you.
Michelle.
If I could take a little bit more airtime, invite everyone out to Hot August Stroll next Saturday, Saturday, August 24th. Everyone here, invite your families, friends. It'll be a good time downtown.
Michelle, when do we expect to see that? You think their projected installation date, or
Yeah, initially we were projecting it would complete the first week of November. We're probably looking at more like middle of December. I would say worst case scenario is sometime in January.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Resolution number 1.
A resolution to reappoint Ms. Phyllis McCraney to the Hammond Municipal Fire and Police Civil Service Board for a 3-year term ending from August 13, 2024 to August 13, 2027. Councilman Andrews.
Thank you, Ms. Lisa. Ms. Phyllis, would you come up, please? This is a council appointment, and Ms. Phyllis has stated to us that she would like to stay on this board. We'd like to thank her for her service, because this is a volunteer basis, and it's hard to get people to do stuff when you're paying them. But this is on a volunteer basis, and I want to thank you personally for your support on this committee. If there's anything that you would like to say?
I just wanted to thank the board and to especially thank the Civil Service Board, because I've enjoyed my 3-year tenure, and I hope that I have another opportunity to serve for 3 more years.
Anyone from the public have any questions or concerns on this item? Anyone from the council?
Ms. Phyllis, thank you. This board you guys put in a lot of long hours, and it's much needed and important work. So thank you for your commitment to the city.
Thank you.
How you doing, Miss Phyllis?
I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah, I said we both put on pink tonight.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah, but I'm not an AKA though. That's the only thing. But that being said, I would like to thank you so much for being on this here board. We know some hot items about to come your way. And I think, if I'm not sure, you're the only black on that board, huh?
Yes.
Okay, then.
Female.
And the only female.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. And I'm saying this here, we appreciate it so much. And with the city of Hammond, if you all don't know, a lot of time we have repeated people on different boards. And by we having repeated people on different boards, we're really not growing like we should, and we're not taking everybody's idea under consideration. So by all us being in here tonight, so some of you all need to think about being on some of these boards, and you can really see what's going on in the city of Hammond. Just today, I think I had to direct 4 people on how to get in here. And I told them, thank you so much for coming. So if you come more often, you'll know how to get in this here building. So thank you so much, Ms. Phyllis.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for your service. I've heard a lot of good things about you, and thanks for continuing wanting to serve. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, I make a motion to approve.
Councilman Divatario?
Yes, aye.
Councilman Andrews?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gonzalez?
Aye.
Councilman Wells?
Aye.
Councilman Leon?
Aye.
Again, Ms. Phyllis, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you all for your vote of confidence in me. And I will continue to represent the people of Hammond, especially those on the civil service and any connections that we have with the civil service. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Resolution number 2.
A resolution to authorize the mayor to renew the 3-year agreement with Soft Choice Corporation for Microsoft in the amount of $49,982.22 per year. Mayor Pete?
This is a 3-year agreement which allows us to utilize the Microsoft software needed for the city to function. The software allows us to use Microsoft Server, Office, SQL databases, and Windows operating systems. The price has gone down from $51,376.98 to $49,982.22, and the savings of $4,184. This is an enterprise agreement and keeps us in compliance with Microsoft software licensing.
Anyone from the public have a question or concern on this item? Anyone from the council? Pleasure of the council.
Motion to approve. Second.
Councilman Leon?
Aye.
Councilman Divatario?
Aye.
Councilman Wells?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gonzalez?
Aye.
Councilman Andrews?
Aye. Resolution number 3.
A resolution to authorize the mayor to renew the Google Workspace Business Plus license agreement for a 3-year term. The proposed 3-year contract is an upgrade to Workspace Enterprise Standard, which gives the city more storage. The cost is $41,400 per year. Mayor?
Google Workspace is the email platform utilized by the city. This is a renewal. We are currently using the Business Plus licensing for a price of $45,360. The proposed 3-year contract is for Workspace Enterprise Standard, which gives us unlimited storage, control over mobile devices, more in-depth investigative tools, more security, data loss prevention, and better email group management. The price for the upgrade is $41,400 with a savings of $11,880.
Anyone have any questions on this item? Public?
Yes. Oh, the public.
Go ahead,
Yes,
Councilman Will.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Mayor, explain this here contract to me, please, and what the Google
Basically, the
Workspace.
contract should be in your folder, but it's a 3-year contract that we renew. And in this particular case, on this one, we're getting a better software system for the same 3 years at a savings of just about $12,000. It helps us more with fraudulent emails, and as it said before, unlimited storage.
And so every 3 years, we have to renew these contracts or what? Explain that to me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So the first one, number 2, what's the difference in the first one and the second one?
You're talking about the Business Plus licensing versus the Workspace Enterprise?
Yes, sir.
Apparently, the upgrade is the things that I had mentioned. We have more storage, unlimited storage with this plan, and also the investigative tools that helps us with the fraudulent emails, which, as you know, in this day and time, happens with the hacking and such, and and then the savings itself.
Okay. What's the difference in the 2?
If you go in your packet, let's see. So once again, support, we have 99% uptime guaranteed support, as much as we need. Before that, it was, you didn't have, in one of my businesses, you pay for different support levels. In this particular case, same thing. We're getting a better support level. Hopefully, when we make the call, we're not on a hold. Also, control access based on user and device context. We didn't have that in the first plan. We didn't have security center, security dashboard, investigative tools on the previous plan. And we did not have management access to password vaulted apps. We didn't have iOS data protection. We didn't have mobile device certificates or context-aware access, remote device wipe, Windows, and management rules. And that looks like, oh, no, we have a couple more. Gmail login, search, and BigQuery, and Gmail integration with third-party archiving solution. We didn't have that as well. So they added some software items and some connected sheets, which whatever that might be. In-domain and trusted domain live streaming, 10,000 more K, which would be, I guess, more space, more memory. And on the last page, that would be about it. So we have more items on the contract than we have with the other package, or less.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else have any other questions on this particular item? Pleasure of the council.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Councilman Divatario?
Aye.
Councilman Leon?
Aye.
Councilman Andrews?
Aye.
Councilman Wells?
Aye.
And Councilwoman Gonzalez.
Aye.
Resolution number 4.
A resolution to authorize the mayor to renew the enterprise licensing agreement with ESRI in the amount of $27,500. This is an annual renewal, Mayor.
Now, she just stated this is an annual renewal every year. GIS software, Ezra, is a system designed to capture, store, analyze, manage, and present all types of geographical data. This is a yearly renewal, $27,500. The price hasn't changed. We use this in permitting, maps, zoning, and basic GIS changes and addresses.
Anyone from the public have a question or concern on this item? Anyone from the council?
Yes. Do we have anybody working at GSI?
Yes, sir. She works in the front office by the finance department, by the water department.
Okay. All right. Thank you. But this is what they used to be in the building permit office,
Well, we
on
work
190?
in conjunction with them,
uh-huh.
but now they're right here, and then they'll probably soon be with the IT folks in the building together.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anyone else? I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Councilwoman Gonzalez?
Aye.
Councilman Leon?
Aye.
Councilman Wells?
Aye.
Councilman Divatario?
Aye.
Councilman Andrews?
Aye. Resolution number 5.
A resolution to purchase a 2024 F-350 utility crane truck for the Water and Sewer Department from Courtesy Automotive Group for $98,549.09. State contract number 4400023793. Mayor?
As Lisa stated, this is on state contract. It's in the budget, approved in the budget. We actually checked with the local dealer, and they couldn't match the price or even order the trucks.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions on this resolution number 5?
Only comment I had to make, just pretty much that you commented on, was I see a lot of truck, a lot of equipment that are being purchased, and I would like to try our best to start ordering more locally. I see a bunch of tax dollars going outside our city, and we have all the dealerships you can imagine in our city. And you know, I thought I've talked to one of them before in the past, and they acted like they could match a state contract. So I don't know if that has changed or not, but if we're spending all this money on these cars, I'd like to see it being put somewhere in Hammond, one of these dealerships we have. So that's all I have to say about that.
Next item we have is actually one of those situations where Bill Hood, well, actually it's Ross Downing, could not get the cars on on state contract in 2024, but they are working to get the cars for the 2025 set of vehicles, the Tahoes that we're going to get. So hopefully we'll be able to work through Ross Downing on those. They're planning on matching the state contract price.
That's good.
And the only thing I would like to say, add to that, is I would love to know when we're going to start putting these tracking device on these vehicles.
All we're waiting on that is the state to provide us with information saying that the vendor that we're going to use, because it's all set up now, is truly licensed to do so. And then we should have that coming pretty soon. I should be coming before you possibly at the next meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Anyone else? I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
We're on the truck, Sal.
We're on the crane.
Still on, yeah,
Crane.
still on number 5, the truck, the crane. All right.
Councilman Andrews?
Aye.
Councilman Wells?
Aye.
Councilman Divatario?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gonzalez?
Aye.
Councilman Leon?
Resolution number 6.
A resolution to purchase 4K-9 package Chevrolet Silverado PPV trucks from Jerry Lane Chevrolet for a total of $293,493.88. State contract number 4400237794. Mayor.
This is what I was just speaking about. Ross Downing couldn't get any 2024s at all. Jerry Lane Chevrolet has the cars on their lot, ready to go, and they're going to come. The cars will come from them with the complete package of light bars, cages, and everything. So the cars will be available as soon as you approve.
This is a truck? They're trucks? Or are they SUVs?
These are the
Yes,
Chevrolet Silverado trucks. I'm sorry, trucks.
Silverados. Well, do we have 4? I mean, didn't we have Tahoes or Suburbans? Tahoes or
I don't think-
Explorers for these K9 vehicles?
Yeah, I don't think truck is the right word that should be in there. It's for the K9, so they can't package out a truck. Unless, you know what it may be a truck with the cover over the bed.
What happened to the 4 we're using now? I guess they're that old and obsolete, or what's?
Imagine they're on their way out or something to that effect. This all comes out of the millage.
Yeah, what it is, the 4 that they have in place now, them trucks are stopping on them, they cutting off, and the dogs are left in the truck. So that's why they're looking at 4 new trucks. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, and I see some law enforcement in the back, I think they were at 1996, those vehicles with the dogs that they're using now. What year are those vehicles? Yeah. Yeah. And what I did, I had reached out to some of the law enforcement to see why we were purchasing 4 new vehicles for the K9. And I would like to say this here, and it's not have nothing to do with it, but we doing this here for the dogs, and I have no problem with dogs. I love dogs. But in the meantime, we need to get those inmates out of jail and let them start picking up paper around the city of Hammond. We taking care of these dogs, but yet the inmates are living better than the dogs. They need to come out the jailhouse and start picking up paper around the city of Hammond. Sorry, Mr. Sapp. You can go.
Al Nicolosi, 3607 Highway 190 West, Hammond, Louisiana. The reason I'm up here is because of the taxpayers, which we got a room full tonight. And what I'm looking at is like, are these vehicles that we are purchasing, when I say we, the taxpayers, are they replacing vehicles, Mayor, or what are they doing?
Well, as Mr. Boudreaux said, most of our vehicles have 300, 200,000 miles on them, so they're replacing them.
So Mr. Boudreaux is
He's a police officer.
okay, so he's not, in other words, you don't have someone in charge of
Obviously,
like
the individual who's in
the
charge
vehicles?
knows that they need vehicles. That's why they're on the agenda. They wouldn't be just getting vehicles to get vehicles.
Well, I'm aware of that, but I'm just asking, how many vehicles do we have in, roughly in the units?
I'm not sure. Why don't you give us a call tomorrow and we'll check that out for you.
Well, who's in charge of the
You
vehicle?
know who's in charge, Sal? It's the police chief's in charge.
I don't know. That's why I'm asking. If I knew, I wouldn't ask you. Just simple as that, Mayor.
Call us tomorrow.
Everything is tomorrow.
No, everything's not.
Today is today. I'm just asking a simple question.
We're open
Police
from 8
officer
to
driving
5.
a car. I understand he's driving a car with 300,000 miles. Well, I'm going to tell you what. I got a car with 200,000, and it's about to fall apart right now. So how could they get 300,000 the way they drive the cars? That's
Because we
another.
maintain them very well.
So you got a good service department. Is that correct?
Obviously, we do. They maintain a lot of equipment here.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because we have a lot of taxpayers here tonight, and I'm surprised to see as many people here. I really am. And it's good because we need a little bit more, enthusiasm from the people that's right here. And the only reason I'm asking because, it's like you said, Bill Hood couldn't get them. Ross Downey couldn't get them. Well, I understand that, Maybe they had a problem. But from what I'm aware of, they didn't really have a problem. That's what I'm aware of.
Well, realize this, that when vehicles are on state contract from municipalities and parishes, the dealerships don't truly make money with that. So that being said, most dealers don't do the match because it's a lot of work for them.
That's not what the people that I talked to about. They claim if the state says the vehicle is $58,000, then they would actually match $58,000.
And those that do, just like Bill Hood is going to do with the Tahoes, or Ross Downing,
Sure.
and we allow them to do it. We
What-
encourage that.
Well, thank you,
We
because
check
that's
with people all the time, Sal. You come up here often and
Come up here to-
insinuate that
to
the
express
city
my
doesn't
opinion.
work hard. We have some good employees with this
I know
city.
you do.
And we have people that don't misspend money with the city. We have people that are here because they're concerned about a neighborhood.
Mayor, I'm
that's-
not here to debate you
Well, then have a seat.
whenever I want to. Thank you. Okay? I apologize that the mayor got a little upset, but me as a taxpayer, I've already had it with the city of Hammond, because what has happened, the money that is being spent is my tax money and all these people's tax money. Just like Mr. Devon said, come to the meetings now and then. That helps a lot. So thank y'all, and hopefully we can get some new vehicles here where the money will stay in Chancellor Hope Parish or Hammond.
Anyone else from the public? I got one question. Need to step to the mic and get your name and address, please.
To answer your question, Sal, I just was informed we have 100 vehicles in that department. And those vehicles are 10-plus years old.
My name is John Peary. I live at 903 Rue St. Michael. Real quick, so the vehicles that you're turning over,
Yes, sir.
so are they just going back to the dealership, or is that okay? So are they going straight to auction, and does that money come back to us here?
Yes, sir. Any money
So
we
so
offer.
that basically is that actually going to the police department? Because it really should.
It goes to the general fund.
Oh, okay. Well, it probably should go to the police department if they're going to need it. To help, especially get more people in. I don't know exactly how much you would be getting back from these vehicles. I'm assuming probably not much because they've got 300,000 miles on them, but I would think that money is better allocated back towards the police department to update their systems. I'm a dog lover, okay, and I will tell you this one right now. Those dogs in those cars, I envy those people because if you lose a dog, and I lost 3 in one year, It's really hard. It's especially probably on these guys even more so because that's their partner. So I think that whatever needs to be done to protect these animals from being inside of the vehicles, whether it is a device that detects that the engine shut off and it notifies the officer that the engine is off in his truck, then we might want to invest in something like that. So that's it. That's all I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes, Mr. Sal brought up something that make a lot of sense. Thank you, Mr. Sal. Mr. Mayor, from now on, don't give us a number on how many mileage on those vehicles. Show us the number. And that's where nobody just spitting a number out their head. We actually get a chance to see it for ourselves. So thank you, Mr. Sal, for bringing it to my attention, because this happens pretty often. And thank you too, sir, talking about the dogs. I like to do anything and everything I can for dogs, for humans first, let me say that, and then the dogs, because we have a lot of issues going on. So thank you very much. So from this point on, don't come up here talking about a vehicle or nothing else unless we actually can see the mileage on these vehicles. And make sure, before we just go taking pictures now, make sure the VIN number match that vehicle too. Thank you so much.
I actually brought up some, I think a while back, we used to actually see that. I think when they presented it, it used to be the VIN number, the mileage, the year, everything else. And, we don't have that anymore, but it definitely needs to be done. And I remember I asked before when the chief was actually here about how many cars we have been purchasing in the last 4 or 5 years, and he didn't know off the top of his head, but for the last 6 I've been up here, we've been pretty much purchasing vehicles pretty regular for the police department, trucks, pickup trucks, and everything else. So we definitely should have a lot newer units circulating in that department.
We usually purchase about 10 a year. And they are all trucks, the trucks that we're getting.
I want to point out that the K-9 package on this info, it says there's a pager system for a Cool Guard monitoring system. To your point about, sir, about notification of the engine, that's probably what that is.
Officer Boudreaux.
I just wanted to come up, since y'all referenced me in the back, that I can't answer some of the questions. Lieutenant Boudreaux, Daniel Boudreaux, Hammond Police Department, 120 South Oak. Quick one to answer, Chairman. They have what they call I don't know the name for it, it's what you just said, but it does that once a car reaches a certain temperature, it actually turns his siren on in the car and the lights, so that anybody sees it, other officers can say, man, your lights are on for some reason. Lets them know that it's reached a certain temperature. Once it goes beyond even that, it will actually pop the door if it has to, as a last resort, to not keep the dog trapped in there. So, this is a long time this has been going on. They've got them kinks worked out pretty good. People like dogs, so they're taken care of. They are going to trucks. State police has went to trucks. One of the reasons one of the K-9 guys was texting me is the Tahoes are not built for it. The Tahoes have a front and a rear AC, and the dog hair just destroys them. They don't have, what he's explaining to me was, the trucks have a closed AC filter inside of them, so the dog hair can't get to it. The Tahoes do not. So they're German Shepherds and Malinois. They shed a lot. So apparently that's what's just burning up the air conditioners in them left and right. As soon as you fix them, they just get tore up again. So they're going to trucks, which is a new one on me, but I think it's a good idea, because a lot of these guys, if you're chasing somebody, they're generally not on pavement when you're chasing them. They're in the woods at the end of a field, so truck's a way better option. One of the ones I wanted to bring up, Mr. Vine, you brought about the mileage. Don't go off just mileage, especially K-9 trucks. They're not a normal car. Mr. Sal's saying he's got this many miles on his car. Well, you don't leave your car running when you get home. These cars run 12 hours a shift. Unless we're out on something, we're in them, we're driving. Even when we're sitting in a parking lot, these K-9 cars never turn off for an entire shift, because you can't exactly take your dog in there with you to Walmart if you're just going in there for a normal call. So hours matter a lot. I don't know if the Tahoes have the ability to show, but hours matter as much as miles. And also, even lower miles, we don't drop them like we're getting groceries. These things get run pretty hard, especially the younger guys. It's why we have in the past taken admin cars and passed them down, because admin cars generally don't get run hard. You know, they're back and forth to work. We pass those down to that are still very good cars. So just keep that in consideration when we get them, that it's not just mileage, it's not a normal car, and hours matter. I know at one time we had a Crown Vic that one of the last of the newer ones, you could actually hold the button down and show the hours, and it was like 180,000 miles, but it had like 6,000 hours on this thing, like crazy amounts. So that is something to consider also. Low mileage doesn't mean good vehicle in these cars. If you have any other questions,
Yeah, I do. I want to thank you so much for even coming to the meeting, because this is what we need. A lot of times we get trying to find information and need to ask questions. And you heard me earlier say that I reached out to some of the officers. That's how I knew what was going on, because some of the police officers were able to tell me. But thank you for coming out, being in law enforcement, to explain it much better to us. And that's all I be asking for. Explain it to me, because one thing about it, and we need to keep in mind, millage money, because I hear this word millage a lot. Millage money is still taxpayers' money. So let's not get it twisted, mistake anything. It's still taxpayers' money. So we do set a tax to the side for millage, but in the meantime, we quick to say millage. It's still taxpayers' money. And the 5 city councilmen up here, it's our job to make sure that we're spending the city of Hammond money the correct way and the right way, and we're not abusing the system. So that I want to say, but thank you again, sir, for being able to come up here, to come out here and be able to talk about it. Thank you so much.
if y'all have any questions, my phone rings 24 hours a day, it seems like, so just give me a call. Any other questions on K-9s? Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Council? Pleasure of the council.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Councilman, excuse me, Councilman Andrews?
Aye.
Councilman Divatario?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gonzalez?
Aye.
Councilman Leon?
Aye.
Councilman Wells?
Aye. Resolution number 7.
A resolution regarding streetlights in the city. Councilman Divatario?
This is just a resolution that we put together over years of talking about this issue, the lighting that Energy comes back and replaces. They have the old yellow style lighting in my district, and pretty much anybody in the city I've talked to, they all like the LED white lights to be replaced when the yellow ones go out. So keep going back and forth. Some are replaced with the yellow one, some are replaced back with the LED. So to make it all universal, when they go out, we need to come back with the LED bright white light to come back for the street lights that are replaced. Gives a better appearance, lighting, and it's just the newer style, and saves energy, and it's LED and it's white, and that's what we're doing here, clearing this up and making sure there's no confusion or going back and forth. It's just going to be a resolution regarding the lights to come back as LED, as a blanket in the city of Hammond. So,
Anyone from the public have a question on this item? Anyone from the council?
I'll just point out that BJ with Entergy, he had sent, I assume he sent it to everybody, the form that they want to see the city send with authorization. So we just need to make sure we all understand that if we want a different street light, we do need to have this form sent by the mayor, which I presume is why this second paragraph is as authorized by the mayor, his designee, so that we're sending that in. It seemed to work quite well a couple years ago. There's been some lack of communication, so now we have a good process, I think.
Yep. Dory will take care of it at the 190 facility, and as they go out, she'll fill out the forms, get it into Energy. And also there was another alternative. We wanted to pick out approximately 10 lights a month specifically on top of that, where they'll go out and replace them for us, 10 to 20 possibly.
So that 10 to 20 would be anywhere over the city?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
That we pay for. They're not free.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I want to thank Mr. Sam for putting this here together. And this has been about a 3-year project. 3 years too long. And if any of you all pass down Mooney Avenue at nighttime, you will see exactly what he was talking about as far as these lights. And I'm talking about the lights help out a whole lot for crime, for anything bad taking place. When you have a lit area, it kind of controls people of trying to do something wrong. But when you have a lot of dark areas, which I have a lot of dark areas in District 3, it creates a crime area. And we deal with crime a whole lot in District 3. So we've been hollering about this a whole lot. And thank you, Mr. Mayor, for you getting involved in it. But I would like to create, if we can, somebody working for the city of Hammond to ride out at night. Take 10 streets at a time, just like you said about the 10 lights or the 20 lights. Take 10 streets at a time and let somebody ride it at night and see how many lights are out. Because this is the thing, these lights are out and we still paying for them.
Exactly.
So we definitely need to get somebody to start riding it at night. It don't make sense for me to keep riding at night and calling Mr. BJ and telling him what lights are out. So I would appreciate if we can find somebody, or you find somebody, he can be a part-time employee, that he can ride at night and see what lights are out, but put the tracking device on the truck, because I don't want him lying saying he did this and he didn't do it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. We do ride out at night. I ride myself. There's an app on Energy, which isn't going to help us for the older lights right now. If you go on Energy and you download the app, it's pretty easy. It was actually very, very nice, except for the fact that now if it's not an LED light, you can't label where the light is. If you put the address in of the city of Hammond, 70401, it'll bring up a map of all of our lights on each and every street. So when you're sitting there in your vehicle, you could actually press the light on the map and send it in, and within a couple of days they'd fix it. Now that we're going to go through with changing every light that's not LED, their system won't allow us to do it that way. So we'll just go ahead and do it the old way. Ride, mark it, give it to Dory, and she'll send it in and have it changed out.
And on that app, Mr. Mayor, I tried that app several times, be exact, on Mary Alley, and that app is not good at all. I tried it several times.
Well, there's some people, when you go on it and you get on it and you hit guest, you go ahead, and what some people do is there's one thing that says report outage. That's an outage on the house or service. At the bottom of that, it says report street light out. And when you hit that one, it'll bring up the zip code. When you hit the zip code, it'll bring up the entire city of Hammond, and it'll actually put you in place where your vehicle is generally. And you just scroll through, and it'll show all the lights on each street, and you just press whatever light that is out, and it'll ask me for my name, Panapinto, Pete, phone number, light issue, you press it, street light issue out completely, light on during day, blinking, physical damage, broken or down. And you press it, and it goes in, and they were pretty quick at fixing them. But it's going to be a different process with changing the lights out. But it's a good app. If you see an LED light and you get on this app, I mean, anytime you're in a vehicle, you can hit it, and it'll put the service call in to Energy.
Councilman Wells, did you see the poll on the app, or was it not there? Because some of the older areas, I've noticed, they may not have the actual poll location on the map, so I've had to contact them before to add that. So I don't know if did they actually have it on some. That's an older street. I don't know if did they have the lights actually on there, register.
I can talk to you, or do I have to talk to the whole city council?
It don't matter. I was just curious. Yeah, because I know I had.
That's actually a good point.
Yeah, sometimes they're not
they
there.
will not mark one, but you can go to the light next to it, and there's a comment section at the bottom, and you can hit that particular light and say it's to the north of whatever light that is, and they'll get to it. But that's a good point. And then they will place it on the map.
But to your question, Mr. Sam, I tried it several times, and a lot of times, if it's not a city light, it won't show up. Because a lot of times it'd be personal lights and not city lights. So that's the problem that I was having with it.
That's correct.
So what happened is our light was out for a long time to you helped us out, but it ended up being into the light.
It might have been a feed. I think it might have been an energy feed, maybe. The feed they might have run another line. I don't know. Was that the line that was damaged underneath? Yeah, the pole and the line. So yeah, energy feeds it. So I think the city was replacing it, but the actual line underground would need to be replaced. So they had to run an all new line. I think that's what it is. So energy had to do that, but they didn't know it was damaged. I don't think because the city didn't notate them because they didn't know it wasn't working. So it was just I think a mess. Yeah.
That's why generally we ride around on neighborhoods like yours and down these streets here where they have the metal poles, Martin's Drive and some other areas, Westdale. We have to ride them and check them because the city electricians have to fix those.
All right. Pleasure of the council.
Make a motion approved.
Second.
Councilwoman Gonzalez.
Aye.
Councilman Divatario.
Aye.
Councilman Wells.
Thank you. Aye.
Councilman Leon. Councilman Andrews.
Aye. Reports, Mayor. All right. Council reports.
I had a report, and I wrote this one down because I have a lot to talk about of a serious issue that has happened in my district, and this is clearly a report in my district. So I intend to report something that has come to my attention, that was brought to my attention by several concerned residents in my district. This is not an action item. No action is being requested, proposed, or expected. I am not accusing anyone of anything at this time. However, it is an issue that I felt that there was a sense of urgency that is needed to be reported to the council in a public and open session as soon as possible. There has been some construction taking place in Villa West that as residents had concerns about. I initially inquired with administration and city attorney about this, and the city attorney initially basically said it was just neighbors, residents have a problem with it and their problem, not a city problem. I am not sure how enforcing our permit and zoning and construction requirements is not a city problem, but the duty of the residents, but I'm not the attorney. But the public should know this because when the council tries to hire its own attorney, or the Daily Star and Action 17 News runs 15 articles bashing us, but how is the attorney who can be fired at will by the mayor going to advise the council about questions regarding problems in the administration? Just like he has sat there and let rants go off the rails in these meetings bashing me and other councilmen. When we stand up for the people of Hammond, but he was sending all kinds of emails and copying people trying to stop me from reporting this issue to the council in public. Ultimately, I asked about the permit status, what was permitted, and etc. around the end of July, and there was no permit. Then August 2nd, a permit shows up that was supposedly signed by Pete Lentini. As you all know, we sadly lost Mr. Lentini on June 29th. I am going to ask a few residents to come up and report their experiences, information, and concerns to the council. I want everyone to refrain from naming anyone specifically, the address specifically, or accusing anyone of anything specifically wrong. But this is a concerning issue that happened. It was notified, and it still happened. And I've always been, I've always put the values of Villa West and District 4 first, and the city of Hammond. But I mean, I have a lot of problems in my district, so I don't venture off. But District 4, I've tried continuously to protect Villa West with rezoning, the entrance of Villa West from mobile homes and different things, and I'll always continue to put the values of the residents first, and I always will. And this right here is just unacceptable. And we're here tonight because of something that should have never taken place in the first place, because it was notated and sent in. So anyone that's in this room that wants to share anything, please come up.
Question.
Yeah.
So, if I could be on the right page here, supposedly a building project.
There was a garage, well, there was a house, that's a single-family house, that had a driveway that was getting formed up and poured. Some residents notified me. I emailed the city initially, and right on point, right when they did it, asked about a permit. They had no permit. They said they called whatever stopped, then they came back, and they started again. And I called them, I sent an email saying, did y'all issue a permit? No, they didn't. I said, this needs to be stopped immediately until y'all further investigate the zoning, the setbacks, everything needed for this project before issuing it. So they stopped it. Following week, they come back, started to form it again. Told there was a permit that was issued. And so then I requested they send it over, and it ended up being half filled out, and with the looks of someone that's not here anymore, and therefore they had some questions and concern on that, and so they gave them a permit. And then no inspection on the house was done, fences put up, no permit, and the guy converted it into a duplex in a single-family dwelling and put a concrete cement pad in a front yard of a neighborhood that has, and if you go and read everything, it's supposed to be as pleasing, to the eye and everything else. And so, no, it was done. So there's just some concerns, and that just, we shouldn't be here today on this, just like the group homes in other districts and rooms when it's not right and it doesn't meet the restrictions. That the city permanent office needs to take the stance of putting the public values and their properties first, and they need to really consider and really concentrate on that and take your time on making any decisions when something looks to be off. So that's what happened.
So can I comment on this,
Yeah.
Mr. Chair? So a lot of the things that come to the permit department come to us by complaints. We don't always catch people when they're behind doors building things. Driveways, in this particular case, was the first thing that came to that department. There was a driveway going up. If you go through Villa West, there are more than 10 houses on corners that have 2 driveways. They issued them a permit. They wanted a driveway. That was fine. But then when we had the complaint that someone was building something that they had no permit to be building, specifically a duplex in your neighborhood, that was definitely the red flag. So Andre was called in. The realtor who actually listed this property as a duplex was notified, you best take this thing down because you cannot have duplexes in Villa West. That's not in their homeowners association rules, I would imagine. That being said, and it's also an RS11 neighborhood, single-family homes. So we've addressed it as it came to our attention. Andre's been on top of it, and that's where we are now. I mean, that can't happen. It can't be a duplex, and it's, as far as we know, it's being taken care of.
But I think, and nobody's not saying it, what is left out is
Come to the front.
the permit was signed, and who it was signed by. That's my concern, because the person that I see that was signed it, he deceased. So how could a permit be signed by a deceased person? And see, this misleading the citizen, and this what I see wrong. If I sign something and you all have a problem, you all can come to me. But here's something being signed by a deceased person, coming out the permit office, not coming from my office, not coming from Sam's office, and I hope it didn't come from the mayor's office. That's my concern, how long we've been doing these things. And like the mayor said, it started out as a driveway. But just think, if you all wasn't concerned and you seeing construction going on and didn't know what was going on, and this shouldn't take place. That's why the building permit office need to know what they signing, what's going on, because if you all was asleep, just think, y'all have extra company, don't even know y'all got extra neighbors. Thank you.
So the building permit department, electronic signatures, correct. Peter Lentini passed a month ago. The person that inspects driveways Robert Williams, our street department gentleman, director. He went out there and inspected it, along with our number 2 man in the building department. So no one signed it. It was an electronic signature that was put on it. The appropriate people checked the driveway. So that was, and other driveways have been put in there throughout the neighborhood. Now, as I mentioned to him, could you have asked him, why are you putting the driveway in? Some people would say, I have an RV. Some people would say, I have a boat I'm putting in the backyard. The driveway is in the front yard. I'm talking about to get to a backyard with an RV or a boat. That being said, that's the driveway issue. The building issue, that's a different ball game that we had to get Andre involved in, because we can't go up and say, hey, I'm the building official. I need to see what's going on in this house. So then it becomes a legal matter. So we're on top of that. You know, we're going through a transition right now with our building official. We just contracted in our old building official who retired. We signed a contract. He gave us his insurances, and he's in place now. So we're on top of this matter. This is not something that the city has just dropped the ball on.
Hi, I'm Joanne Tallow. I'm a resident of Villa West, as I think most of the people here in the room are today. The major concern that I have about this is if the area of Villa West is considered a single-family home dwelling, how can this occur? Did the error occur with the realtor listing it as a duplex? It was my understanding that the person who purchased it had intended that to be his home. So that's a contradiction to me. But from this point on, my concern has to be what will happen next. And I don't think anyone that's here wants to be able to come back with another issue of another home that's sold that's turned into a duplex or a quadplex or whatever. So my question to you is, what stop gaps do you have in place to maybe not guarantee, but assure us that this won't happen again through the permit office?
Well, once again, this house wasn't being constructed where you could see an outside framed-up house going up. This was something that happened within the confines, and luckily the neighbors caught it and brought it to our attention. Then it becomes a matter of getting into that house and seeing what's going on. But you are an RS11 neighborhood single-family dwelling.
Right.
That can't happen. So that's going to get shut down.
So, Andre, I guess that you're handling this now, and you will have some way of advising us what the status is of your progress?
Well, what I can tell you is the owner was sent a letter advising that Villa West is RS11, duplexes are not allowed. If he operates as a duplex, he's in violation, and there'll be enforcement action.
Okay.
I spoke with the realtor, advised him that his listing was in error. You can't have duplexes in Villa West. No one wants to be misinformed.
Right.
He assured me that minute he was taking it down that day, that listing of the property, that it was a duplex. So they were informed of duplexes would be in violation of the zoning ordinance in Villa West. Yes, ma'am.
And normally, how long does this process take so we can be aware of that?
I'm not sure what you're
Is it
asking.
a month or 2 months?
Well, I'm not sure what you're asking. I mean, I don't know that the property is being occupied. I don't know. If there is a duplex, if there's proof that it's operated as a duplex, we would go to court, ask the judge to issue an order to prevent that property from being used as a duplex. If that's violated, then the judge has tools available to motivate people to come in compliance.
And I did see yesterday where there were cars there, and it appeared that they were moving stuff through the old existing driveway, not the new driveway pad. So, we would like to have this resolved as quickly as we can. It's making all of us, I think, a little nervous about our property values and so forth. So that's all I have to say, and if you can just let
So
us
for
know.
example, meters. So sometimes if you're going to create a duplex, you'd have separate meters. The permit office is notified. They're not going to issue a permit for a second meter. They won't get a second meter on that property.
And we have a site, Villa West Community, on Facebook, so if you would like to communicate to us through that, that would be wonderful.
On Facebook?
Yeah.
I have to get somebody who's on Facebook to do that, because I'm not. But let me say also, under your restrictions, any individual owner certainly has a right to enforce your restrictions. If that violates your restrictions, any individual owner has a right to enforce restrictions, as well as the city if there is a zoning violation.
Okay. Well, we thank you for your help with this.
Let's say somebody just moved in there. Let's say someone just moved in, and let's say it's split in two. How do we get in there to check this place out to see if they did not or did in fact wall up a duplex?
Well, you have to have proof. Now, you could get a court order if there's a threat of a violation of an ordinance. The judge may allow someone to come in. It's very difficult to walk into someone's home without a warrant, without permission, and just walk in a house.
So a court order is our next course of action?
Mayor, I mean, if there is some evidence or proof that it's being used as a duplex.
Crawford. I live in the neighborhood, Villa West, on Rue Chalet. I remember when that house was first built, Judge Bennett was the owner of the house way back when in Villa West in the early 80s. He added on a master bedroom in the rear of the house by the garage. So that's the only extent of what's been done to that house until the new owner purchased it. There's been other owners prior to him that have lived there and done some modifications to the house, but nothing really that major until this took place. When I noticed the driveway being formed in the front yard, I thought to myself, I have a feeling that the owner is getting ready to subdivide that house because there was a police sign in the front yard. Now, I understand there are other houses in our neighborhood that are being leased and not, privately owned, but they're being leased through other owners. So, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. And I mentioned to Sam, I said, well, why didn't they do a circle drive instead of a parking pad in the front yard? Houses that are on the corners in Villa West will have a side entrance for the garage and a circle drive in the front, not a parking pad in the front yard. So I objected to that part. Okay, but I didn't know what was going on inside the house until I had gone in there. The owner's son lives in the house at night. Okay.
You did go in the house.
Yeah, I've been in the house before these modifications were made. Yes. They were doing other modifications, but I didn't know what his intention was. But they were working in the master bedroom area. And so I'm understanding that no one's been allowed in the house to see what modifications have been made. And until you can do that, you don't really know what the plans are. I don't object to a house being leased or occupied in our neighborhood because we have a lot of vacant houses now in Villa West. And it's hurting our sales, our property values, really. And when you start leasing houses in your neighborhood, that also hurts your property values. And why our property values in Villa West are so much lower than other areas of Hammond concerns me as well as everyone else here, I'm sure. So it's just a comment, and that's I'll let you know the situation.
Thank you.
I'm back. So I have a question for Andre. I know about duplexes and being subdivided. What's to say that this gentleman turns around and says, well, I'm going to go ahead and include the power, include the water, and all in one. At that point right there, it still becomes one resident. You don't have, unless you have another address to split it right down the middle. You could put 1 and 2 or A and B. And it really, at that point right there, isn't that a loophole? No. Because it still becomes one resident if you have one single meter. And that owner says, I'm going to charge you $1,800 a month for residents here. I'm taking care of your water, taking your trash, your power bill, cable, whatever. So, in a sense, it's like me renting my renting out a room in my house.
Which you may be able to. So look, if there is evidence of a violation, then we ought to bring that forward and enforce it.
Okay, so if this does happen and if it does go through, how is it that we can stop it in the future? I will tell you this one right now. When we bought our house in Villa West, our house sat vacant for 3 years, and there was a really good reason. The owner of our house, her husband passed away. He used to be a doctor. They built our house after Katrina because they didn't want to have to go through another Katrina situation, so to speak. And once her husband had passed, she has since moved out of Villa West, but her sister remained. And that, like I said, that house sat for 3 years. We put an offer in on the house, and she rejected it. First time. My wife wrote a letter stating that we love the house and that my wife was pregnant and we wanted to have a child. What did she do? Gave us everything we want. I heard, and I've heard this from several people in Villa West, way back when Villa West used to be the place to live. If you wanted to be there, Villa West was there. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but my family has taken over most of the decorations. I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but I do Christmas. We just did the Olympics, put the Olympic rings in front of Villa West. So I do Christmas. We decorate the sign during Christmas. I do most of the sign poles all the way down. A gentleman asked me if the city was doing it, and I said, no, I am. I want to invite people into our neighborhood. There is no reason why we can't keep a younger community coming in. I mean, these people are not going to be here forever. We want to be able to make sure that they are able to sell their home and a younger couple come in. Now, if we can do that, that'd be great. I have a little bit of a problem if this gentleman was looking as a investment property. My question is why didn't he take some of the dilapidated residents that are over in just outside of Villa West, or still included in VillaEst? Why didn't he take and
come in District 3?
Sink a little bit of money in that.
Fix them houses up.
Sink a little bit of money in that. I mean, I went down that same street today, and those apartments, on one side of the apartment, all of the siding is gone. I mean, it's a problem for us to look at, and I know that we can't. The only thing we can do is talk about it.
Yeah,
we have no recourse. But if we don't talk about it and we don't let somebody know, hey, listen, why don't here I am. I'm trying to better the community.
Yeah.
I opened up, and this is no lie, I opened up my house to Shark Week, 4th of July. I opened it up to the whole neighborhood. I want that to continue. And if we allow things like this to keep on happening, then what are we saying,
Yeah, that's the issue we have tonight right now is, that's a lot of other stuff going on, but right now we have this issue right now. So, yeah, I appreciate it, John. Thank you.
All right.
Personally.
Appreciate it.
Cindy Grega. My husband Jim and I live at 1108 Rouge Chalet. I spent a little bit of time reading the city code yesterday, and our city code provides for the city planner or the building official to take corrective action when the zoning ordinance is violated. So one of my questions is, who is our city planner and who is our building inspector?
Building inspector is Robert Morgan, who just came back online. He used to be our building official. And I also have a young man, Blake, who's in that department, number 2.
Are they licensed?
Robert Morgan is licensed.
Okay, I thought he was no longer with the city.
I just talked
Just
to him and got
rehired
him to
him?
come back.
Awesome.
He's actually contracted out.
Who's
He
the
did-
city planner?
City planner is no longer with us as of this week.
All right,
But I will
so,
tell you this, the best city planner we had here is Tracy Salacy, and she's at the parish right now.
yeah,
Wasn't certified, but knows how to do the job as well as any city planner. So I will say this, having a certification doesn't mean that you can deal with people well, doesn't mean that you have good people skills, and doesn't mean that you can necessarily do the job. So when you do have good people, like we've had in the past, it's the best thing to do is keep them. So we will be in search of a new planner, but we have qualified people out there. Tracy Salacy, one, helping us, as did Mr. Nick with the parish, was helping us with inspections.
well, why did
Pete
none of
Martini.
these people sign off on this permit? And as far as I'm concerned, this permit
Which
is
permit?
the permit for the, I'm
Driveway?
back on the permit for the parking pad.
Driveway.
Common sense would have told anyone that you're building a parking pad and not a attractive circle drive in your front yard. That should have been a red flag, especially since there is a double-car garage with 4 parking spaces parked alongside of it. I would think, oh, why do they need a parking pad in the front yard next to the sidewalk? Come on.
Thank
Did anyone physically inspect?
Yes.
How do we know that? No one
Robert
signed.
Williams.
But he didn't sign.
Look, you can
Robert
state that
Williams
fact, and
isn't
you're right.
licensed. Robert Williams works for the street department.
Right, and that's off of that's a driveway. It's not a building. You're not putting up walls. You're not
Let's talk-
building things to spec. Robert Williams checks driveways. Robert Morgan checks construction.
Well, I was told that in the absence of the building official, the man who tragically died, that the parish was
Nick
stepping
LeBlanc,
in.
yes, ma'am.
Who with the parish? Did someone from the parish go out
Not
there?
for driveways, for
Yeah.
construction.
Yeah, well, maybe they should have, and maybe we wouldn't be having this issue. But according to the code of Hammond, corrective action can be taken. And at a minimum, this property owner should be required to put this single-family home back to its single-family status. And if he fails to do so, then the city needs to do it and put a lien on the property to recoup the expense.
Yeah. And
I got more, but we'd be...
well, and that's the focus of this. The bottom line is, it all sounds good from the mayor about this and that. At the end of the day, this was a problem. I want to make sure everybody knows this problem was highlighted and addressed and notified to the administration as soon as they were forming up. And the problem I have here is that we don't have anybody in place. Why are we rushing to give anybody anything okay if we don't have the right people and make sure everything is done accordingly and make sure everything's met? It wasn't done. It was rushed and it was put in, and this permit is not even filled out all the way. I mean,
No,
it's filled
no
out with
scope of work.
it's filled out with 2 owners. It's filled out. Everything's blank, no signatures, and everything else. So if this is so he still has no permit technically.
That's right.
Nope. That's the principle about you go about a written out house, room, this and that. At the end of the day, we have a single family house, and there's a driveway poured with no aesthetics, anything done in there, just poured right. It's a parking lot right in front of the window. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other things. So it's not just that.
There's a zigzag fence.
It's in the back. So there's a lot of red flags. So when the red flags are thrown up, that should have been notation for the administration to take their time and figure out what is going on over here and what is the sense of urgency and whatnot. And it should have been sent to the parish. We don't have nobody sign it. You're notating everybody who's been hired now, but that's after this fact. And this was all sent in beforehand, and there was no secrets or nothing, and they were notified, and then they still let them do whatever they want. So now it sets a precedence in that neighborhood to continue doing this throughout the neighborhood. And so this should have never started. We're not losing out on anything if we take our time with pouring a driveway. the city of Hammond isn't losing out on a business. They're not losing out on any taxpayer. So why rush? Why rush to go pour this parking to add it when he has 5 parking spots already and a garage to come in a single-family house? I just don't understand. So we got 2 problems. One problem is I don't know, and Robert Williams didn't sign it. And I mean, he's in the street department. So what I'm saying is, there's a project done with no permit. The fence had no permit that I'm aware of, and this had no permit on there, and it was clearly marked online. So it wouldn't took much research for the permitting department or whoever in the bidding to just get online and see it's being advertised as a multifamily, whatever. So it takes 5 seconds. So what I'm getting at is there was no sense in rushing. Permit was issued. A fake permit was, I mean, I don't know what was this issue.
It's jumped up because the owners listed on the permit are the owners that had it before the VA took it back and foreclosed. So the permit office didn't even bother to see who the real owner is. It's just, if I had done something like this in my industry, I would not only have been fired, I'd have been prosecuted.
Thank you so much. Ma'am, you said something that make a lot of sense, and there was nobody caught on to this here. If the parish involved in it, why we don't have agreement saying the parish involved in it? See, these are the little things that take place all the time, and now we're going to try to sweep it under the rug right fast. But, you know, Robert Williams, he over the street department. How many licenses did he have to talk about a driveway? And this you just come out of your mouth. How's a driveway when it's a parking lot? It's a difference between a driveway and a parking lot. So it goes to show you, and I'm going to say this here, and I know they're not going to like this here, you overpaying these people that work for the city that's not qualified to do the job. And now I'm real mad now because I can't even get him to dig a ditch. But he over there in your area looking at a parking lot, which is supposed to be a driveway.
That's a problem. I can't get to do a speed hump that's been going on for 6 months now to get rid of it. But he can't figure out how to do it. But anyways, but he's in every other department, getting paid $100,000 a year. But that's fine. We got him. He's got a jack of all trades. But anyway, go ahead.
Next 2 comments.
My name is Robert Marino,
Thank you.
1003 Rue Chalet. My biggest problem is, one, forget the aesthetics piece and the permit piece. It's just the placement of this thing. If you're coming from the direction where the drive or the current garage and driveway is, and you're going to make a right, and I'm coming from the other direction, turning left to where this driveway is, I can't see your signal. If you're going to go, I mean, here's the curb, the driveway's here. It's a safety issue. You can't see somebody's signal coming from the other direction if they're going to hook into that driveway with the placement. If they would have placed it on the other side of the property in the front, it would have looked normal. Where it is looks terrible, and it's a safety issue.
I had emails about that setbacks checking, and it was on the corner, and it to check it out because of the public safety issue, because of the intersection, and you're inviting cars to park close to the intersection when people are passing there. It's total disaster. Mayor, have you looked at what's going on over there? Have you seen it with your own eyes? No, in the front.
You cannot park a car between where the edge of the driveway is and the corner. You cannot fit a car. You can maybe fit a Geo Metro. That's about it. My other part is, with all the sketchiness of this permit and the work that's being seen, doesn't the city have cause to get a warrant? Since there's already work being done and issues that are questionable, can you not, for cause,
What?
do the corrective action on the house to go see what they're doing inside?
Well, is it occupied?
It kind of. So if you know there's fencing that didn't get a permit, you get a questionable permit right there, does that not give the city cause to go get a warrant to go see what's going on in that house? Or whatever. And you have cause because you have illegal things going on in that house already. And that's all I'll say.
No, ma'am. Come on up. Okay. That's the last comment right here with the guy with the hat.
I'm at 1000 Rue de la Paix, and I feel like the city did not uphold our community. I feel like they didn't do the things they were supposed to do. And it's not anything for the mayor to be on the defense about based on the people that work there, because it's a problem and we want it corrected. So we don't want you to be upset because we're calling on it. You know, we found the issue. A lot of us are walkers and we drive through our neighborhoods to see what's going on. And when they put that pavement in the front of the yard, it's an eyesore. It's not even done correctly. You know, and like she was saying, it should have been a rounded driveway. Not that we can tell them how to do it, but it's an eyesore. So I just feel like the city did not do their job as far as watching out for our community. Yes, we watch out for our community, and when we see something wrong, we try to get it to Sam to let him know what's going on. So I just think it should be corrected. You should find out what's going on with it, and then we should be told within less than a month. We should know what's going on. We want to know because we all live in that community. We all pay taxes in this community. We all live there and want to be in peace and make people live according to the way, the community that we thought we were moving into. That's it.
Thank you.
I'm Mike Bornholt, 805 Delmar. I live on the corner. I don't have a slab to park. I've got an entrance into a double-car garage on the side. I want to bring up a couple of things that I just had a brainstorm back there about. Yeah, you can have brainstorms. First off, it appears to me, and I appreciate the fact, Sam, that you went through and shut them down from doing things 2 or 3 times. To begin with, he started without permission. He started without permission. That's a red flag right there. Sam tried to shut him down. It seems like he came back, yeah, I'm going to do it what I want to do. And he got shut down again. But nevertheless, I kind of look at this, since he got some more building done and actually residential people living there, maybe his son, I'm wondering about the long-term effects of this happening again. That's one. Number 2, if what should be done, since he did it illegally, he should be made to put it back the way it was. And then, because it was done illegally and the people that signed off on the permit didn't have the authority to sign the permit or didn't have the qualifications to sign the permit, the guy that did all of the damage and what we're here about today comes back and sues the city. So it's kind of a lose-lose situation for both sides. He could come back and say, I'm fixing to sue the living daylights out of the city because they didn't sign the permit right, and I've spent all this money. I just, it seems as though we're fighting a losing battle I think he needs to make it back the way it was, but I'm looking at the fact that he could come right back and he could be back in court because he spent $150,000, $200,000 on redoing stuff.
But the problem is you don't have a real-life person who gave a permit. I mean, there's no permit here still.
I understand that. I saw it on Facebook.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Well,
and I don't do Facebook. I've got one friend, my wife.
Well, thank you. But this is a serious issue, and I know we had a lot of comment, but I want to make a motion though I want to make a motion to place this topic matter related to the permit 202408-731 the related property on the agenda next meeting at the first topic under new business on the agenda. And I'm doing this because I want to see a recap and see what's going on with this, and I want it on the agenda. So I'm making a motion for the next meeting.
1100 Rue Chalet?
Yeah, 1100 Rue Chalet.
Making a motion during council reports?
Yeah, I am. It's in the council meeting, or not.
Sam.
Who do you represent, Andre? You represent who, really?
Sam,
I'm really confused, really.
I'm trying to keep you guys out of trouble.
Yeah.
With
I want to
topic of
update.
open meetings.
I want this updated.
Ask the council president
you can do
to put
that.
it on the agenda.
Put it on the agenda for next meeting. Topic. Like I made a motion. I don't there's nothing wrong with it.
I second. I second.
Either way.
So he got a second. I second.
I want it done because I don't want nothing to change. Saying, it'll somehow disappear or whatnot. So I want to make sure it's cleared. I don't want to update. I want it on the agenda. Since Andre wanted to be quick to say in an email that, oh, it's not an agenda, I want to remind you about laws because this is a serious issue that pertains to my district, and you want to always jump in and say things when things are liable for the city administration to protect them, which they created the mess in the first place, and I'm an elected official that represents a district. That's a serious concern. It's not next door to your house, Andre. It's
Sam,
next door to them.
Sam, I'm trying to protect.
It's not. And listen, I told you before this all started, and you did nothing until it all hit the fan, and then you sent out the letter. You should have sent the letter out immediately when I notified you and copied you to the email. So I'm just letting you know. So I'm tired of this. You talk when you want to talk because you work for the mayor. And that's who you work for. You don't work for the council. You work for the mayor. And I understand that because that's who protects your job. So I understand that.
And Sam, this shouldn't be taking a month or two. This should be snap, snap, let's get it done.
No, it's good. Well, it's going to be on the next agenda unless it doesn't get put on there.
Good.
Sam, let me just say that a violation of the open meetings law is on you, is on every individual council member.
This is a report.
Who can get well, if it's a report, you're making a motion.
It's a report.
So my advice has been, my advice was to you in the email, put it on the agenda.
It
You
was
want
too
to
late.
discuss
It was past time.
Well,
That's why
it is 24 hours beforehand. Asked it for be on the agenda. If you're going to speak about someone, they have a right to know, and they have a right to be here to answer questions about what's going on. And that was the same concern I raised. If you're going to come to an open meeting and speak about someone, they ought to have a right to know you're going to speak about it. And they ought to have a right to be here. Well, sir, if it
Yeah, there's a problem here, Andre, and it's sad that we're here today. It really is sad we're here today. It really is that we're here dealing with this that should have never took place in the first place, and we're here. And it's sad, and it could have been done. Yeah, and then it's going to continue over and over. So it's a serious issue, Andre, and it's nothing personal, but there's a problem with that because at the end of the day, there's an issue, and I know where you stand because this is a messy situation we have right here because it should have never took place. So, and I know you know. So that's all. I'm going to just leave it like that. But I want it on the next meeting, and that's why I made my motion. So y'all can say whatever y'all want to say, but that's why I'm making it in the meeting that I want this topic on the agenda now, so it's way far in advance.
It is an open meeting, Andre, and what you don't realize, and you should know better than any of us, we're not voting on this. It's just being discussed. And you can't stop nobody from discussing nothing. But this is what I noticed. When it's pertaining to you and the mayor, the rules come out. But HR don't stay in Hammond. What the rules at? Robert Williams never came before the city councilman. What the rules at? See, it's so many laws that the mayor have broken, but you don't say nothing. And so if you're going to say something about one thing, say it about everything. It's your job to keep the mayor in place. It's your job to protect the mayor and to protect the city. And right now, the last gentleman said it. That man could turn around and sue the city right now, because guess what? Ain't nobody name on the permit. And guess what? The person name on it, he deceased. So you really got a problem. So that's something that you should have been on in the beginning instead of trying to go back and forth with Sam. Sam tired. He don't want to fight with you. He don't want to argue with you. He don't want to argue with the mayor. The lady said it in the back. Mr. Mayor, don't get offended because people are asking questions. And she right. But guess what? When it come down to these damn elections, look how nice y'all be. Because, Andre, yeah, you fighting for your job because the mayor just fired somebody. The mayor done fired 2 people. The guy from the airport, he gone. So the guy who y'all put over planning, he gone. So guess what? We do have an issue. And you know the mayor sit up here all the time, say he done made a phone call. Guess what? We don't know who he done talked to. You can't do no contract over no phone, and we ain't got no business voting on nothing unless we see it in writing. So that junk need to cut out. Just like the mayor said, the parish helping us out. We don't see nothing in paper. Yeah, Ms. Gonzalez, you're a lawyer. We ain't saw nothing in paper, but guess what we say? Okay, the mayor said. The mayor said this same planning and zoning guy that's not here to plan a city, him and the mayor come up with all them rules that you got up and explained, and that's why I say you cannot put that much power in people's hand and don't know what's going on. Now the planner gone now. So just think if that would have been passed. All this here sly stuff that the mayor pulled all the time, his friends and family would have benefit for the same junk that they doing in Villa West. That's what I see. And you know it ain't right. But just like he just said, if it was by your house, we wouldn't be even up here talking about it. Because guess what? You're going to have everything straight. That's what every community needs, everything straight.
Anybody else got a report?
Yes, sir. I got a council report. I'm sorry. Yep. I forgot all about we was on the council report. First thing I would like to say, happy anniversary to my wife. Today our anniversary and the day her birthday. And so I don't have to take her out to eat because she's not at home right now. But happy anniversary to her, because I know she might be watching. And I would like to thank the Marshal Department and the amazing job that come from Guy and the courthouse staff. I went to trial for somebody Thursday. And I want to thank them guys for an amazing job, how they carried themselves and how professional they was. And I'll say this here, for every department in the city of Hammond, they need to go to their courthouse and see how their staff work and how they act. Not one time I had to say, I'm Councilman Wells. And I have to say that a lot, and I never use that because I want to see how they treat people. But at that courthouse, from the Marshal Department to the Guy Department, the courthouse, all of them very professional, no problem at all. And I would like to thank Tangipahoa Parish Sheriff Office for firing a bad deputy. Mr. Gerald Sticker was sworn in July. That's what we want. It's not about a color. It's not about race. It's not about age. It's not about a woman. It's not about a man. Do your job the correct way. And I want to thank Mr. Gerald Sticker for doing that. He just showed us how Tangipahoa Parish supposed to go. And I'm going to say it. I wasn't going to say it. The mayor friend, the chief of police, it's the same thing that I expect him to do. And I'm one of the guys who voted for him. But his nephew went and shot an unarmed guy with an AR-15. Nephew, son, we know what I'm talking about. Craig Dunn. And it's amazing how this little stuff be washed on the rug. And if you notice, I never spoke on it. The law are supposed to protect and serve. And I thank God that these people had a camera in their house. Because somehow the city of Hammond don't use their body cameras until they stop me. When they stop me, their body camera's working. But when they stop other people, the body camera ain't working. And thank God that these people had a camera in their house. And I never realized that. But you know what? It's important to have a camera in your house now, not long outside. Because the police had to climb through the window in these people's house to get this guy out the house. And I thank God for Gerald Sticker for what he's doing. I appreciate it, Mr. Sal. I know that's your man. I thank everything that y'all doing. And it looks good. To say he just started in July. And he done already solved this problem from administration to fire. That's what it takes. We need good police officers. And not all of them bad, but we need good police officers to do the same thing in Hammond. There's something wrong, do it the correct way and the right way. But if we didn't have these cameras, and the city councilman know, we vote on everything the police department want. I don't agree with everything, but we vote on everything they want. They got body cams. Lionel was shot by Craig Dunn. His body cam, he's the lead. He was the lead officer in there. And if he supposed to be the chief, or he supposed to be the lead officer, his camera ain't on, the rest of them ain't got to cut their cameras on. So I'm saying this here because it happened in my community. And I don't have the best community. One thing about me, I will talk about District 3 first. We have an issue. I asked the police department, I asked the mayor, I asked the city councilman. Live Oak is a bad street. Whites come down Live Oak to buy crack. Blacks come down Live Oak to buy crack. Anybody looking for crack, come down Live Oak. I asked the city to put cameras on the poles where we can see what a bad issue is. Janice Beard, she was the city councilman before me. The body cam worked when Janice told the police, give me your gun and I'll shoot him right between his eyes. It's amazing how the cameras work when somebody's trying to do right. And here it is, 6 years later, we still having the same problem with Live Oak. We know it's an issue, the speed bumps. We asked for speed bumps. One speed bump took place. We need more speed bumps. We know the shooting, everything take place on Live Oak. Y'all done heard the people come to the council meeting and speak about this here. And you know what? But every time the police go to the neighborhood, Councilman Wells told us this. Councilman Wells told us this. And you know what? You damn straight. Every time something happens, Councilman Wells gonna call the police. When he hears shooting, Councilman Wells gonna call the police. So I'm saying this on the record. Anybody doing something bad in District 3, I welcome the police department. I even asked the city, the councilman, let's put a substation in District 3. See, that's how much I want to protect, not only District 3, but all the citizens, because guess what? When they leave out of District 3, they going to Villa West. Andre, they can't get by your house, because that's too far to go, but they going right there and do wrong. And we don't need this help. Prevent the things before they happen. That's the last thing you want is somebody to die, and they can't talk about it when it could have been prevented. I got Mr. James here, and Mr. Mayor, you can help me out. Mr. James got fired by the rec department. Stand up, Mr. James, please. Mr. James got fired by the rec department. He's in District 3, and what he got fired for, I don't know. He been asking HR for his file. And HR been putting it off. How long they been putting it off, Mr. James? About 2 weeks. It don't make sense for them to hold his personal file. He ain't asked for none of y'all file. He asked for his personal file, and yet he can't get his personal file. They told him 50 cents a sheet. He said he have no problem. Then she told him he got to come read everything. He ain't got to read it. Give him his personal file. He didn't ask you to give it to him for free. And it's bad that, I know, it's bad though that he going through all this here for his personal file. And then now we're going to talk about it because it's going to come up why he got fired. See, that's the thing. And I tell anybody, when you write down stuff, the rules matter. Signatures matter. So all this here need to come out, Mr. Mayor. You need to take care of it because we got an issue. And from this point on, no, I can't keep talking to you. And Mr. Richard, you work with the Daily Star. You hear the things that's going on, what's said, and I'm going to say this here. I got a lot to say, y'all, but this is my last thing I'm going to say. Miss Callan ran against Sam. And I see we got 3 guys in the newspaper, on Facebook, Andre, that you don't use, Instagram, TikTok. We got 3 guys got arrested in Hammond. Anybody selling drugs, inspection sticker, all this here, they don't need to be on the street. And I'm saying this here, just like we posted them 3 guys, plaster their picture everywhere, let's plaster. Let me see Callan picture. In the same thing, Dave Lambert's wife, Mr. Mayor know who I'm talking about. That's why it ain't good to hire your family and friends. Let me see her name, because she ran for office, and she got caught stealing. Why we don't see that? Yeah. I want to see the same thing. I don't care who it is. It could be my grandma. If she did wrong, let us see it. That's what I'm asking for. Thank you so much, and my wife, once again, happy anniversary. Thank you, Mr. President.
I get a motion to adjourn. Meeting adjourned.
Lisa, hey Lisa, did you ever get an update on that speed hump on the right? Did?